So if you're one of those people who thought NFTs were dead and buried, well, you might want to take a seat, because the latest data is telling a wildly different story, and frankly, it's a much more interesting one. Let's get into it.
This quote just nails it, right? Everyone was so quick to write NFTs off as this passing fad, but what's really happening here, it's not a comeback. It's more like a total evolution.
And if you want a number to wrap your head around that evolution, check this out. 10.1 million. That's how many NFTs were sold in one single month this year. Yep, a record high for 2025. A number like that just forces you to stop and ask a pretty simple question. What in the world is actually driving this massive surge in activity, especially when it feels like the rest of the market is hitting the brakes? To really get it, we've got to zoom out for just a second and look at the bigger picture.
All right, so let's set the scene here. To really appreciate the NFT explosion, you have to understand the weather it happened in. And honestly, it was a bit of a chilly, quiet cooldown across the whole Web3 landscape.
And here's the key stat. We saw a 3% drop month over month in daily unique active wallets across the entire dApp industry. Now look, 3% might not sound like a crazy number, but in a market this big, it's a definite signal that things are slowing down. And this slowdown, it's not happening in some crypto bubble. It's a direct reflection of all the economic uncertainty going on in the world. People are being way more careful, They're becoming a lot more selective, putting their time and their money only into projects that they know are going to deliver real, consistent value.
And this chart really breaks it down for us. You can see DeFi took a decent 5% hit. Even NFTs saw a tiny dip in the number of active wallets. Really, the only area that saw any growth at all was blockchain gaming. So the picture is pretty clear. It's a cautious market out there.
Okay, but this is where the story completely flips on its head. Because while almost everyone else was just trying to stay afloat, one sector, well, it didn't just survive. It took off like a rocket.
Yeah, so right in the middle of this market-wide cooldown, the NFT space somehow managed to have its single best month of the entire year. It's a total paradox, and when you see the numbers, they're pretty mind-blowing.
Just look at this. The proof is right here. Trading volume skyrocketed 30% to over $500 million. The number of actual sales, up 28% to that record-breaking 10.1 million. And get this, the number of traders stayed pretty much the same, which means the average person was making around 12 sales. This isn't just a little blip on the radar. It's a full-blown surge.
So you got to be asking, why? What lit the fuse on this explosion? And the fascinating part is, it wasn't a return to the crazy speculative JPEG hype of the old days. No, this was driven by three totally different and frankly much more solid factors. First thing, and this is a big one, they just got way more accessible. Think about it. Back in January, the average NFT cost you about $321. Fast forward to October, that price plummeted to just $54. That's a massive six-fold drop. It basically threw the doors wide open for a whole new wave of people who were completely priced out before.
Reason number 2, and this might be the most important part of the whole story, the shift to utility over hype. The top-selling collections weren't just pretty pictures anymore. You had projects like DX Terminal getting huge because they offered the potential for future airdrops. Or look at Courtyard. They're using NFTs to prove that real-world things, like collectible trading cards, are authentic. It's all about what the NFT can do for you, not just how it looks on a screen.
And the third major driver? The big brands finally jumped in. We saw Yuga Labs, the Bored Apes creators, team up with Amazon for an NFT that sold out in a single day. And then you have the Doodles collection partnering with Kellogg's Fruit Loops. This isn't some niche crypto thing anymore. This is mainstream retail, making digital ownership something tangible for a massive new audience. So this incredible NFT rebound isn't just some weird, isolated event. It's actually a sign of something much, much bigger happening. The entire Web3 space is starting to grow up. It's diversifying and maturing right before our eyes.
So when we zoom out, it becomes clear that the NFT story is just one piece of this giant, evolving puzzle. You've got all these different sectors now, all moving at their own pace, each with its own unique set of challenges and massive opportunities.
Take DeFi, for example. While NFTs were having their moment, the DeFi world was getting tangled up in all these regulatory debates in the US. But at the exact same time, a totally different space, AI-powered dApps, was just exploding with funding and new ideas. The whole ecosystem is constantly shifting.
And this chart tells you everything you need to know about where the big money is going. In just one quarter,